Hey guys, welcome to the Ramsey Paul Show. It is Friday. Happy Friday. Hope you had a great week. It's December 5th. Oh my God, Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. I haven't got my gifts yet. I need to order them. I always procrastinate. I always say I'm not going to procrastinate, but I always do. I don't know. It's just part of me. I've always been that way. Even in school, I would study at the last minute. I got to get better at that. I don't think I will, though. At this age, I'm probably not going to change. But I hope you guys are having a great week. And hey, if you want to support the show, powerchat.live/Ramsey Paul, you can leave a question and a tip. I'll read that on the air. I got one this week, so thank you very much from that. And if you want to write me like Christmas card or something, I love that. Paul Ramsey at P.O. Box 8093, Fayetteville, Arkansas 72703. And as always, if you want to be part of my Substack, a way to support me monthly, small monthly fund donation, we have a roundtable every Tuesday night. I do appreciate that. But be at least just like and subscribe. I do appreciate that. Trying to grow the channel. All right, you see the thumbnail about Candace Owens. Wow, I don't know what to say about her. Candance Owens, our base Black woman. That's what we are. That's what we as conservatives and Republicans love. Having a base Black woman, if she was a lesbian, it'd be even better. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. That would help to validate our worldview because she's Black, so we can't be racist. She's a woman, so we can't be sexist. Too bad she's not a lesbian, then we couldn't be homophobic. That's how Republicans think. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. This is a flaw of our people. We've been so demoralized, we can never think about what's good for our people because, oh, that'd be racist. Oh, whites. Oh, Nazis. We can't. Every other group can. We can't. So we gotta try to trick the world, right? So if we want to support, let's say, someone like Donald Trump because we liked his policies, he talked about ending illegal immigration, America first, all that type of stuff. Remember in the election 2016, and even after that, we're like, oh, but wait a minute though. People call Trump racist. I don't want to be called racist. That's the worst thing ever. Oh no, no. So how do I get around that? I know. I will support Black people that support Trump because then that validates my views. Remember like Diamond and Silk, those ghetto Black women? That's right. And they were ridiculous, but hey, they're Black women bobbing their head, supporting President Trump. So I just love those women. I love those women. Me loving those women shows I'm not racist. So it's okay for me to support Trump because these Black women have told me it's okay. They gave me permission. That's really what it is. And we've seen this all the time. I brought this up before. Let's say, like, you remember the third world immigration into Europe, which is still going on, sadly. But all these Muslims pouring in with the refugee crisis, supposedly. And a lot of people, they're like, I don't really want this. I don't think this is good for our people. I like the way Europe is beautiful, clean, prosperous. But I can't say I don't want these people in because they're not white, because that'd be racist. And we can't say it's because bad for our people, because what's our people? I don't even know what I am. There's no such thing as white. I don't even know. I don't even see race, but I love Blacks and Jews. So we have to think of a proxy. So it's like, oh, I know. I'll trick them. I'll trick the liberals. I'll say that I don't want these Muslims into our countries because it's bad for Jews. Oh, we love Jews. See, we're not anti-Semitic. So you can't criticize me for that, right? You can't criticize me for that. Oh, and also we don't want them in because they could be bad for our homosexuals. And we love our homosexuals. It's just so much in the Republican Party. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Traditional conservatism is like homosexuality is not something you're born with. It's a behavior. If you're a Christian, a sinful behavior. We do not condone it. We do not advocate it. But they all do that. I saw this clip with Megyn Kelly. It's hilarious, right? So she's having her tour thing, and some gay man got up, said, "Oh, I'm a gay man. What advice would you give for a gay man that's a Republican. And she, she almost wet herself. Oh, it's a gay man likes what we're doing. Oh, I got validation. What advice would you give? And she goes, oh, it just shows you. And she was like fawning over him. Oh, we just love homosexuals. I'm not so much a trans, so try to separate from that. But we love homosexuals. I'm like, what? Right? Yeah, this is how it's just ingrained in how we try to adopt the premise of the left to win their favor. It is so crazy. So getting back to Candace Owens, the whole reason she got popular in the first place is not because she's that brilliant, because she isn't. She's mid at best, but she's a Black woman. And she's not like one of these scary ghetto Blacks. She can actually talk like she's white, and she presents herself well. And this is like the fantasy that whites want to believe of Blacks. Like, oh, given enough training, they can kind of become white. Oh, they'll still have black skin, but they'll be white, basically. This is their fantasy. This is what they want. So they love Candance Owens. But I remember Candance Owens from 2015-16. I remember I was doing this sort of thing then. She hated me. She blocked me on Twitter. Evil racist. She started a website to dox evil racist, right? And then like overnight, she became a Republican, conservative. Who knows why? But she's like, I've had an epiphany. It's the liberals that are the real racist. So she went over to the right, probably saw that the grift is better there, right? And she was right, because again, people on the right, the Republican Party, they're so thirsty for minority approval and women approval and all that sort of thing. So she's this Black woman that's not that scary looking, and she's saying all these GOP things. They just wet themselves. So TPUSA even back then, like, oh, we need you because we've been called racist and we're not racist. So can you get on our staff to show us we're not racist? And you can do urban engagement, which means Black. So she was part of that. And then she got part of the Daily Wire, that neocon Ben Shapiro thing. And, here's our Black woman that's saying conservative points. And, then she finally got kicked off there. But, a lot of her Israel stuff obviously runs Ben Shapiro the wrong way. And now she's full-time into this conspiracy stuff. Like Macron's wife is secretly, she was a man. And now she's talking about Charlie Kirk wasn't really, the guy that was accused of killing Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson. Well, it was more than that. He's just a patsy. See, secret forces. This is Israel. It's no, it's the French. No, it's the FBI. Just all this weird stuff. Now she said, it's probably that TPUSA was involved with it. You should stop donating to TPUSA because they were probably part of the conspiracy. So they offered to bait her. And she says, any place, anytime, I'll be there. So they said, okay, how about December 15th? I can't do that day. So who knows? But it's just all a distraction. And can we just start going back to traditional? Can we stop having to give this validation to people because they're Black or because they're in some sort of degenerate sex or because they're female, that somehow that gives them credibility? Can we get away from that? I mean, we're supposed to be on the right? Hierarchy, God, man, woman, child. Can we start to promote more men and people like of our race? I mean, it's fine if other races want to support us. We call them allies. Okay, they're allies. But we don't have to have these people's approval and permission. It's just so cringe. But this is what we end up doing. And so now you have Candance Owens. She's just going off kind of in a loose end, all this crazy stuff. And people like it. I mean, let's face it, all the conspiracy theories. Alex Jones made a ton of money doing this. Secret Bohemian Grove, the neocon, Lizardmen, Illuminati, Freemasons. It gives people an illusion there's a secret group of people that control anything, but it's not real. There's powerful people like Soros and others, no doubt, but it's just mostly chaos, and it's a very confusing world, but it gives structure to the world so people like this sort of thing. So Candance Owens, that's what she's doing. All right, let's get into that was the Candance Owens. Now let's get into a guy I really like. This is Matt Walsh, because there's this whole thing about the Somalis that we brought in to Minnesota, shipped them into our country. They engaged in this massive COVID fraud. It's just not a one-off. And then this guy is saying whites are jealous because they can't compete with Somali excellence. Yeah, right. Matt Walsh, the average IQ in Somalia, which is 68. I think Coco the gorilla had a higher IQ. And I'm not joking. That is mentally retarded when you're that low. That's average. 7 out of 10 live in poverty. Their GDP is $1,000 a year, right? So the average salary is $1,000 a year. They don't have any waste system or toilets, sewer system, and it's just anarchy there. So whatever, if Somalia is a great country, great. The Somalis need to go back there. They need to go back there anyway. I don't care if their status legal or not, but they're just not compatible with us here. And this is one of the big things we have to understand is that people are not the same. There's differences. It's not just skin color. It's intelligence, it's behavior, it's all of that. You just can't swap people in and they're going to be the same. And no, some headhunter cannibal in New Guinea is not equivalent to our country as someone from Norway, Norwegian. They're differences in IQ, differences in behavior, and a lot of it is genetic. And so we just can't have all these people come in and think they're going to act white because they don't. And we see this in Somalia. They come over here and they've torn apart Minnesota. So that is what's happening there. And let me see here. This was kind of funny. Tim Walz, he's a governor of Minnesota, and he's upset because Trump called him retarded for not. And these people are supposedly coming to his house.
True.
This is kind of funny.
This creates danger. And I'll tell you what, in my time on this, I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word.
They're driving by, you stupid retard.
In front of people. This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful.
Why should they? Trump said you are retarded. I don't think he is retarded. He's just corrupt. And he probably knew this fraud was happening in Minnesota because Trump is like, you have to be really stupid if you didn't see what was happening there. But more likely he knew was happening, but because they're blacks and he's part of the Democrat establishment, we need to import all these people to eliminate whiteness. He considered that a good thing. Tim Walz has a very sketchy past. I remember in high school, he started some homosexual club, very strange fellow. So that is where he is right there. All right, let's see here. Now, to try to control things and to not allow people to understand what's happening, the EU is trying to double down on censorship. And good for J.D. Vance for pushing back on this. Rumors swirling, I don't think it's rumors, the EU has said that the U.S. Commission will fine X hundreds of millions of dollars for not engaging in censorship. The EU should support free speech, not attacking American companies over garbage. Well, but if they have free speech, they can't push their narratives, right? Because what they prefer, these countries, and even in the United States, a lot of people prefer this, is where you have some controlled media that acts as gatekeepers. And that's able to try to hide things from people as much as possible. For example, if you have in Sweden, they just had an episode, a 9-year-old girl was raped by an African immigrant. He had been arrested many times based on rape. She was left brain dead, basically. They don't want that story to get out because it doesn't make immigration look good. So they suppress it, right? And again, we see this in racial attacks. If you watch TV, you would assume all interracial attacks are evil white people attacking poor black kids. It's not the case. It's the other way around. But they just hide the stories of blacks attacking whites, like Irina, where she was just sitting on the bus and she got stabbed in the neck by the black guy that said he wanted to get a white bitch. They hide those stories or downplay it. But in the rare instance where a white attacks a black, oh, they promote it. The politicians get out there and cry. That's how they like. That's how they run their propaganda. It's harder to do that on X because people are able to show what's really happening. And so thank God Elon did buy Twitter and made it X. I know a lot of people don't like Elon. He has issues, but I will always thank him for that. All right. Speaking of some mainstream propaganda as an example, let's take a look at this. Here we go. Let's listen to this here.
Capitol attack. Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged.
What? Let's listen to this again.
Capitol attack. Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from.
What? A 30-year-old white man? I love how they classify as white now. Maybe it's because he has a tie on. Does that make him white?
From the D.C. suburbs is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction by means of explosion. CNN observed local and federal law enforcement outside his home in Woodbridge, Virginia this morning.
I don't know. You got to watch these white guys. What an idiot. But that's often the case. When you look at the crime rates per capita, it's way much more blacks and then Hispanics and whites. But it's even worse than they report, because half the time, if a black guy or a Mexican creates a crime and is arrested, they classify him as white. It's just so hilarious. So there's an example of our wonderful media. All right. The White House is getting on board with some of this threat, though, to immigration. And this is great. I mean, I have problems with Trump, but I'm happy he's able to bring this up here. All right, here, let's get this up. This is the civilizational decline here. White House claims Europe is facing civilization erasure. And the Trump administration claims in this new national security strategy published early Friday morning, some of America's oldest allies face real and more stark prospect of civilization erasure due to immigration and the purported erosion of democratic principles. And that's true. We're seeing that. Europe, they are heavily in censorship now. They're at war with their white population, and the people that they're importing don't reflect their values, as we see in Sweden. In 1970s, rape was almost unknown, especially in public in Sweden. Now it's commonplace. And the people are just going to, the goal is to eliminate whiteness. And how do you eliminate whiteness? You eliminate white people. That is 100% what they're doing. And I'm glad we have someone in the White House talking about that. So that is good news. All right, guys. It's good to give an update today. It was kind of funny. I had to do this video like 3 times once the dog started to bark. And then another time my mic went off. So I think I finally got through it. I got through it. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Talk to you guys later.